Okay, let's talk about broad match keywords. And before we do, I want to give a strong disclaimer. If you've been reading our book, you know that we are firm believers that broad match is an advanced feature only. I just want to stress that. Notice that all of these sample accounts we have, those are exact match terms. So let's just look at those. Remember, when we're using AdWords and uploading keywords, when we add keywords, actually let's look at for men. Notice that these all have brackets around them. That means that we are only bidding on those exact search terms when people type them in. If someone mistyped supplements, or they typed in supplements for man, it will not come up. Broad match, that would come up, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but we talk about that in other chapters. Enough said on the exact versus broad match disclaimers. Now let's talk about, if you do feel that you are ready to venture into broad match search terms, let's talk about the difference between modified broad and broad match. So I have not added any keywords to this account yet. Let's just show you what that looks like. So if I just want to do men's supplements, I would not put any brackets or quotations around it. That would mean it's broad match. That means Google will do all of the heavy lifting for me, and they will show my ad for supplements for men, men's supplements, weight loss supplements for men, man supplements, misspellings, men's vitamins. That might seem good. It's also a little bit bad in that it might do free samples of men's supplements. You might end up bidding on the keyword supplements. In fact, I almost guarantee it. That's how bad broad match can be. So it's good in that it helps you find other keywords. It's bad in that they have free reign and they can pretty much substitute any keyword they think is relevant for you, and that can increase your cost. It will increase your traffic, but it will most likely increase your irrelevant traffic too. So that's broad match. Modified broad gives you a little bit more control. So we would type in. So this is what modified broad. Now you don't want to have both of these in the same account. So you're going to choose either broad match or modified broad. Modified broad gives you more control. So Google will substitute and give you all sorts of keywords like supplements for men, men's supplements, free men's supplements, but with modified broad, they will not substitute, they will not bid on the word supplements. So in this case, you probably would end up bidding on the word supplements. In this case, you're not going to bid on the word supplements. You're not going to bid on men's vitamins with modified broad. In this case, I bet you're going to be bidding on men's vitamins, man's vitamins, all of that kind of stuff. So modified broad, a lot more control. Broad match, a lot more traffic, which is good and bad. Again, it's going to get you a lot more traffic, but it's also going to get you a lot more irrelevant traffic. One last caveat when you decide whether you're going to do modified broad or broad match is that, you know how we've talked about the concept of keyword bucketing, and we might create one ad group for men's supplements and another for men's vitamins. If we have two different ad groups, one for supplements and one for vitamins, using broad match would find you all of that traffic and pretty much negate the work you've done, because they'll show your vitamin ad when people type in supplements, and when people type in vitamin, you're not going to have efficient keywords or efficient matching of keywords. That's why broad match can be dangerous. So that's where modified broad gives you control. However, keep in mind that that's also a disadvantage in that if you don't think of all of the possible combinations, supplements, vitamins, multivitamins, all of that, modified broad won't do those substitutions for you. So if you just type in men's supplements, you're only going to get variations of supplements. And the purpose of broad match is to let Google go and find more keywords for you, but modified broad doesn't necessarily do that. So I would say choose one or the other. Use modified broad or use broad match. Do not use both, especially in the same ad group, and see how it works. Another idea for you to do, if you're not sure which is best for you, would be to set up 2 different ad groups. So one could be broad match, regular broad match, and the other could be modified broad, and you could pretty much have them compete against each other and see which has better cost per conversion. So I don't really have an answer of which is best for you. It depends on how much keyword research you do and how confident you are in all of the keywords that you're bidding on. But if you don't know, set them both up in 2 different ad groups and kind of let them compete against each other, and you'll probably know pretty quickly which is best for you. So I hope that lesson helps explain the difference between broad match and modified broad a little more clearly, and we'll see you again another time.